Hello, my name is Rose Hall, and the title of my speech is 20 Seconds. What if the car hydroplanes? That's something neither mom or dad could prevent. There's no stopping it from sliding into the other lane of traffic and to colliding head-on. I looked at my brother and my sister sleeping in the back. Their faces were so contrasting from my father's strained eyes, struggling to see the road. My dad lost the wheel. We rolled into the other lane of traffic, and a car coming from the opposite lane slid into us. I died instantly. No last words. No last words. Life on this earth was over. I didn't even get to graduate high school. I didn't even get to go on a real adventure. Just my paranoid mind catastrophizing an average northern Utah road. But as I tried to find the same peace my siblings had, I was lost thinking about why a 17-year-old girl was thinking about her death so fearfully on a drive home. And it was in that moment that I realized that if I was one of the unfortunate souls to die suddenly in a car crash, that I would not depart feeling peaceful, ready, or content with what I've put into this world. I knew that my last seconds would be filled with dread and regret, grasping for one more chance. I also realized that there is amazing calmness when feeling fulfilled. Something so peaceful. And I would like you all to feel that feeling. Not in 10 years, not when you've finally decided to go after them or when you've paid off your house mortgage, but today, tomorrow, or in the next 20 seconds. That is why today I will be discussing the security of fulfillment through exercising insane courage. I will also be discussing its counterpart, fear, the reason so many of us would label ourselves as unfulfilled. So enough of this morbid stuff, our journey begins. If we are really going to experience something as big as life fulfillment, we better start with a plan. So let me introduce to you 20 seconds of courage. This mindset was first introduced to me through the film We Bought a Zoo, where Benjamin Mee says, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of the most embarrassing bravery, and I promise, something great will come of it. Ironically, the first time I tested this strategy was joining my school's debate team. At the end of my freshman year, I had noticed that I was pretty bad at talking to people, whether that be in public or even if I was just talking with my relatives. So in an effort to improve myself, I signed myself up for debate. I didn't give it much thought over the summer, but then the first day came. I was an introvert in a room full of loud, noisy, opinionated people that expected me to speak out loud in front of them. So after my first warm-up speech, I went up to my coach and I said, "Hey Jordan, it's pretty obvious I can't do this, so I'm just gonna drop the class and we don't ever have to talk about whatever this was ever again." And she just looked at me and said, "I know it's difficult, Rose, but give it one more chance. After a week, if you hate the class, you can drop it, but give it one more chance." 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I did. I participated in class for another week, and I kind of just kept going. So fast forward a month. I was on my way to my first debate tournament, and I had prepared and organized my entire oratory when a thought crossed my head. I don't have to do this. I could just fake sick and hide in the bathroom. I mean, you can't get mad at a kid for being sick. But that was my shoulder devil talking. My shoulder angel said, "No, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of the most embarrassing bravery. And I promise, something great will come of it." So for the next 20 seconds, I stepped one foot in front of another. 1, 2, 3, 4. My room was farther than 20 seconds, unfortunately. I sat down, and only a short 10 hours later, I was done with all of my rounds. And can I tell you, when I was done, I felt amazing. There's really no way to describe that feeling. It's like, no matter how badly I failed, and I did, it didn't matter. My goal was never to succeed or to place top. It was just to gain confidence. It was to be able to gain the confidence to go up to a group of strangers and start a conversation without fear completely sabotaging me. My goal was never to win. It was to exercise courage. I am proof that when your goal is courage, great things happen. Because at the end of that year, I was regional oratory champion. And at the start of this year, I got the words vice president sewn onto a jacket that I earned. Now, I do not say these things to boast, but only to show you that if I can transform from a crying sophomore on my first day to a regional champion and vice president on my last, think about what the capacity that is within you when you choose to channel courage instead of results. I think Benjamin Mee says it best again. It's not about where an adventure ends, because that's not what an adventure is about. This quote actually addresses one of my biggest life goals, the one that triumphs even being a great public speaker. I mean, I'd be able to depart comfortably if I was an awkward girl, but I'd be pretty upset if I never got to experience a real adventure in my life. Between my grandmother living one of the most heroic journeys a woman can, and my dad being an amazing storyteller, I was a pretty adventure-obsessed little girl. But as I grew up, I realized that the stories my dad were telling me may not have been as romanticized as they once were. To give you some backstory, my grandmother grew up in North Korea during the Korean War. At age 19, in an effort to escape the dictatorship, she fled to the border, leaving all of her family behind. She was caught by military troops, and they held her at gunpoint, forcing her into a camp that specialized in brainwashing rebels using various torture methods and fear tactics. The manipulation was brutal, but my grandmother managed to escape, and on her second attempt, miraculously, she crossed over the border. Her example has taught me that if I am ever faced with a decision to give up based on fear or embarrassment, that I should laugh at the doubt that I have in myself, because those things are really only important if you give them mind. And I, for one, will not be ruled by such a meaningless fear. But I look around me and see how many people are. We live in such a fearful society, willing to sacrifice love out of a fear of rejection, experiences out of a fear of failure, and fulfillment out of a fear of the unknown. As hopeless as that makes us all sound, we all have the potential to shut ourselves up. We do this when thinking about our dreams all the time, but we need to start shutting up the parts of ourselves that give up based on fear. If I had let that same mindset dictate my first day of debate, I can tell you I would not be standing here today. I wouldn't have the amazing friends that I do, and I would still be too scared to go up to a group of strangers and start talking. A skill that has changed my life in more ways than I can count. That is why, in our society, I hope I can change it one 20-second period at a time. It is then that we will feel that security of fulfillment, that peace and comfort that I'm looking for. That'll happen when our society together says, all I need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of the most embarrassing bravery, because I know something great will come of it. Thank you.